Hey my friends, welcome back to Owlets Tarot. My name is Jason and thank you so much for joining me. I'd also like to say to everyone, thank you so much for being patient with me. There have been some things in my personal life that I have, as of late, kind of had to reprioritize things a bit. So it has sent me a bit behind. So I think for at least the next month or so, probably the next 2 months, I will be doing bi-weekly readings for every sign. So instead of weekly readings, it's going to be every other week. Just until things kind of calm down and I'm able to get back on top of things. So thank you again for your patience. Thank you to those of you who have reached out. You're all very, very greatly appreciated. This is going to be a general collective for my dear Cancerians. All right. And I don't know what's going on with the aspect ratio. I don't know, it's different. All right. I hope you're all doing very well. All right, energy and clarity for Pisces. I'm sorry, for Cancer. Energy, clarity, guidance, messages for Cancer. All right, one more card. You've got the Seven of Cups, the Page of Wands, the Knight of Swords, followed by the Ace of Cups, the Six of Swords, and the Five of Coins, with an overall feel for the read of the Five of Wands. Crowning this read, we have the Eight of Cups, and underscoring the read, we have the Three of Wands. Okay. I'm going to pull you a Moonology card at the end. So let's get started with this. Your first card out being the Seven of Cups, followed by the Page of Wands. I feel like this is about, as of late, having a lot of decisions to make, a lot of choices in front of you, and there's almost like a feeling of being drunk with confusion, or this card can indicate turning to vices. It's often a card that speaks of being more comfortable living in a bit of a dream world or a fantasy world, as opposed to making those concrete decisions, those important choices that need to be made. But followed by the Page of Wands, I do feel like your passions as of late have kind of been reignited in a lot of ways. It feels like there's a turnaround in the energy. It feels like the answers that you need to make these decisions are coming into play, or are coming kind of into the fold as of late, followed by the Knight of Swords. That very quick-moving, logical, problem-solving energy. With the Eight of Cups, or I'm sorry, the Ace of Cups, I feel like it's these decisions being made are opening you up to something that's coming, something, some kind of emotional fulfillment. Whether this is something new coming your way, or whether it's a relationship leveling up, I feel that there's a lot of empathy, or at least a lot of trying to understand from someone in your life, whether it's a partner, a close friend, a family member. And this has allowed you to move into a calmer phase. This has allowed you to slow things down a bit so that you can make these choices from a passionate, creative, and logical place. There's a lot of problem solving going on with this energy. There's also a very strong sense of not forgetting what it is that you learned, because the lessons learned here are hard-earned, and you're choosing what to bring forward, and you're choosing what to leave behind, what no longer serves you, using the logic, using the decisions, the choices that are being made from a very logical place, using that to propel you into calmer waters. There's also a real feeling of real refocus, and a lot of like realignment happening. Yeah. I think there's a fear here of not having enough of what it takes. And honestly, I really feel like this is you questioning yourself, questioning the choices that you made, even though you knew they came from a passionate place and a logical place. There is a sense of, sailing toward those, keeping your goals very, holding your vision. But I'm feeling with this card like there's just a lot of questioning about whether you've done enough or you've given enough, or there's a feeling of shortcoming in some way with this card. And with the overall feel for the read being the Five of Wands, there's a lot of feeling of inner conflict. Yeah, there's a lot of inner conflict here. The card... Okay, well first let's go with crowning the reading is the Eight of Cups, so there's this strong feeling of knowing what it is you need to let go of. Right? Knowing what it is you need to leave behind in order to have room for what's next. And underscoring the read, the Three of Wands, things are coming together. You've put in a lot of hard work to get to this place. You've been facing things differently, knowing what needs to be done, and having the internal passion to get these things done, to make these decisions. The logic, and it's almost like the path before you is much clearer now. There's not as much noise. So while this path is clear, while the logic is really flowing, there's a sense of you wanting to rush forward to reach that place of calmer energy, to accept this incoming emotion, or to just feel more internally emotionally balanced, being able to give more of what you want to give to whoever it is that's currently kind of occupying your mind or heart space. And like I said, this doesn't have to be a romantic partner. So don't doubt yourself. Don't question whether you have what it takes to move, to transition. Don't question, don't second guess yourself about what the things that you know that are no longer serving you, the things that you know you need to let go of. It's always hard. Change is very hard, right? For many of us, for humans, it's tricky. Change often, we're creatures that tend to crave certainty. But with the underscoring reed being the Three of Wands, and the feel for this read being the Five of Wands, I really just feel like this is internal conflict. It's something that I feel you're struggling with. And once things start coming together, it's just going to all feel different. I'm looking down and seeing the Judgment card looking up. So I really just feel like once things start coming together, once the veil lifts, once you're able to see things very clearly, once you're able to look very objectively at yourself, at your current situation, the clarity to make logical decisions. There's just a strong sense of clarity. The clarity is here. The logic is here. The problem solving is here. The answers are here. The smooth waters and leaving the drama behind, it's all right here. And then there seems to be this sense of kind of stepping in and getting in your own way with this internal conflict. I really just feel like this is all about internal conflict. And just that questioning, that second guessing, being the only thing that's standing in your way. But you do know what it is that you've got to move beyond and leave in the rear view so that you can transition and move forward, and almost like closing one chapter and starting anew. But starting that new chapter with what it is you've learned, what it is you're bringing with you, and starting that new chapter with a fresh feel, because you've left a lot of the bullshit behind. Okay? So let's get you a Moonology card. All right. Energy for Cancer. Okay. Adjustments are required. In order to make these decisions, in order to kind of step back into the driver's seat of things, you know exactly what adjustments need to be made. You know exactly what adjustments need to be made. Because like I said, with the energy of this Knight of Swords and the Eight of Cups crowning the reed, this is the decision making and the logic and the problem solving that you need in order to know very clear and concisely what it is that you need to leave behind, no matter how. I do feel a sense of sadness attached to this, often when we have to leave something behind, even when we know it's not good for us. There can come from that a feeling of loss or a feeling of second guessing, regret, inner turmoil, right? So adjustments are required, but completely within your reach. Completely within your reach. All right. Adjustments are required. This card is represented by the third quarter moon. And the book reads as such. Think of yourself as a vessel that has been filled more and more over the past few weeks. Some of what has come your way may have been wonderful, but there is also a lot of negativity, and you need to let go of this. Eight of Cups, knowing what to let go of. Whatever situation you're asking about now, be honest about whether there are toxic emotions or elements involved, which you need to release into the ethers in order to move forward. This card also comes with a promise that all is not lost. Don't forget that. However, there are changes or adjustments required before you will get to where you want to be. A change of course is forecast now, that recent events have been understood and acted upon. Excuse me. There may also be a crisis now, which will remind you what you want and what it's time to let go of. So pay attention. This really resonates with the read. So just make sure that you are reevaluating situations that need to be reevaluated, okay? And the teaching for this card. At the time of the third quarter moon, we know where we have been, but where are we going? The moon is now a half moon and slipping away from us as she catches less and less light, moving towards her full disappearance at new moon. It's a time of falling away and a time to reevaluate. No matter when you draw this card, the teaching is to release and trust. Okay? Release. And trust that you have plenty to make the decisions that need to be made. You have plenty within you. You have plenty of intelligence and logic. It's not coming from a place of emotion. It's not a reactive situation. It's not, anybody acting from a place of just being emotionally reactive. The only thing that I see you having to worry about is not second-guessing yourself, okay? Recognizing that, yes, there are adjustments that are required here. And it's easier to see what these adjustments are that are required when we no longer have the veil of biases over our eyes. Okay, all right, my friends. Thank you again so much for being patient for your reading. Thank you all for watching. I will see you back here in 2 weeks, and until then, take very good care of yourselves and the people around you. And it's been so great getting to spend a little bit of time with you again, my friends. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, take care, friends.